Hello, dear friends. This is Margaret speaking. Today, I am going to share with you the most incredible story of my life. You will hear this story on the American Granny Stories channel, a story about betrayal, unexpected heroes, and how a simple cup of spilled coffee can mean the difference between life and death. You know, we often judge situations too quickly. We see something happen and immediately think we know the whole story. But life has taught me, especially at my age of 68, that things are rarely what they seem on the surface. This story involves my daughter-in-law, Jennifer, my longtime maid, Rosa, and a business meeting that was supposed to secure my company's future. What I didn't know was that this meeting would have secured my funeral instead. So grab your own cup of coffee. Don't worry, this one is safe. And settle in, because this story has more twists and turns than a mountain road. Let me start from the beginning. My name is Margaret Hartwell, and I built Hartwell Designs from the ground up 30 years ago. It started as a small interior design consultation business running from my garage and grew into a multi-million-dollar firm with offices in 3 states. My husband, Thomas, passed away 5 years ago. Cancer. It was devastating, but Thomas made me promise to keep the business thriving. "Don't let anyone take what you built, Maggie," he told me on his last day. I held his hand and promised. My son David is my only child. He's 35 now, works as an architect, not in my company, which was his choice. He wanted to make his own path, and I respected that. David is kind, intelligent, but I'll admit, he's always been a bit naive when it comes to people's true intentions. 4 years ago, David married Jennifer. On the surface, Jennifer seemed perfect. She was beautiful, blonde hair, green eyes, always dressed impeccably. She had a degree in marketing and came from what appeared to be a good family. She was charming at family dinners, always bringing thoughtful gifts, always saying the right things. "Mom, you look beautiful today. Mom, this dinner is absolutely delicious. Mom, I'm so lucky to be part of this family." My friends would tell me how fortunate I was to have such a wonderful daughter-in-law, and for the first 2 years, I believed it too. But around the 3rd year of their marriage, I started noticing small things, little comments that seemed caring but had a sharp edge underneath. "Mom, are you sure you want to wear that dress to the gala? It's a bit youthful, don't you think? We don't want people talking." "Mom, maybe you should consider reducing your workload. Running a company at your age must be so exhausting. Have you thought about retirement? David and I were discussing your estate planning. It's so important to have everything in order. You know, just in case something happens." I'm not a fool. I've been in business for 30 years. I know when someone is positioning themselves for something. But David loved her, and I didn't want to be the mother-in-law who caused problems in her son's marriage. Then there was Rosa. Rosa Martinez had been my housekeeper for 12 years. She came to me through an agency, a quiet woman in her mid-50s who had immigrated from Mexico 20 years earlier. She was a widow, her husband having died in a construction accident. Rosa was more than a maid to me. She was family. She knew how I took my coffee. She remembered every important date. She kept my house running smoothly when I was traveling for business. Her English wasn't perfect, but her heart was gold. I paid Rosa well, far above the standard rate, and I had set up a small retirement fund for her. She had 2 children back in Mexico that she supported, and I made sure she could send money home regularly. Jennifer never liked Rosa. I noticed it from the beginning. "Mom, don't you think Rosa is getting a bit too comfortable here? She acts like she owns the place sometimes. I saw Rosa going through your study yesterday. Are you sure you can trust her completely? These people, they talk to each other, you know? They share information about their employers. Your business secrets might not be as safe as you think." I would defend Rosa every time, which only seemed to irritate Jennifer more. The tension between them was obvious. Jennifer would give Rosa extra tasks when she visited, speaking to her in a condescending tone. Rosa would simply nod and do the work, never complaining, but I could see the hurt in her eyes. Now, let me tell you about the meeting that changed everything. Hartwell Designs was in the process of merging with a larger corporation, Pacific Design Group. This merger would be worth approximately $40 million. It would mean a comfortable retirement for me, security for the company's employees, and yes, a substantial inheritance for David and Jennifer. The final meeting was scheduled for Tuesday, November 15th at 10 a.m. This meeting would take place at the Pacific Design Group headquarters downtown. Present would be their CEO, their board of directors, their lawyers, and my legal team. We were supposed to sign the final contracts. Everything had been negotiated. This meeting was essentially a formality, but an important one. All parties needed to be present. Everything needed to be perfect. I had been preparing for weeks. My lawyer, Robert Chen, had reviewed every document multiple times. My accountant had verified all the numbers. Everything was ready. The night before the meeting, I couldn't sleep. It wasn't nerves about the business deal. That was solid. It was something else, a feeling I couldn't quite name. My intuition, which had served me well in business for 3 decades, was sending me warning signals. I got up around 2 a.m. and went to my study. I reviewed the contracts one more time. Everything looked perfect. Maybe I was just being paranoid in my old age. Tuesday morning arrived. I woke up at 6 a.m., showered, and put on my best navy blue suit, my power suit, as Thomas used to call it. I felt ready. Around 8 a.m., I heard the doorbell. That was unusual. Rosa had a key and usually just let herself in. But when I went downstairs, I saw it was Jennifer at the door, and Rosa was letting her in. "Good morning, Mom," Jennifer said brightly. She was carrying an expensive-looking travel mug. "I know you have your big meeting today, and I wanted to bring you something special." She handed me the travel mug. "It's your favorite coffee, Brazilian dark roast, from that specialty cafe downtown, the one you love but never have time to visit. I got up extra early to get it for you fresh. Consider it a good luck charm for your meeting." I was touched. Maybe I had been wrong about Jennifer. Maybe she really did care. "That's so thoughtful of you, Jennifer. Thank you." "Of course, Mom. This merger means everything to our family. I want everything to be perfect for you today." She gave me a hug. "David sends his love. He wanted to be here, but he had an early meeting with a client." We chatted for a few minutes. Jennifer asked about the meeting details, who would be there, what time I expected to be done. Normal questions, I thought. After she left, I took the coffee to my study. Rosa was in the kitchen, preparing my usual breakfast. "Buenos días, Señora Margaret," Rosa said when I entered the kitchen. "Good morning, Rosa. Jennifer brought me coffee this morning. Wasn't that sweet?" Rosa's expression changed. It was subtle, but I saw it. A flash of concern crossed her face. "That is nice, Señora," she said, but her tone was uncertain. "What's wrong, Rosa?" "Nothing, Señora. I make you coffee every morning. Today, I make you special breakfast for your big meeting." "I know, and I appreciate that, but Jennifer went out of her way to get this from downtown. I should drink it, don't you think?" Rosa nodded, but she looked troubled. If you're still hearing me, write comments below and subscribe American Granny Stories. I went back to my study with the travel mug and my breakfast. I had about an hour before I needed to leave for the meeting. I was at my desk, reviewing my notes one final time, when Rosa knocked on my study door. "Señora, I bring you fresh napkins," she said. "Just put them on the side table, Rosa." "Thank you." Rosa came in, carrying a small stack of linen napkins. As she walked toward the side table, something strange happened. She suddenly stumbled, or at least it looked like she stumbled, and fell forward. The napkins went flying, and she crashed into my desk. The impact knocked over the travel mug Jennifer had brought. Coffee went everywhere, all over my papers, my laptop, my suit, the carpet.
Rosa, what on earth? I jumped up. My beautiful navy suit was covered in coffee. My papers were soaked.
I am so sorry, Señora Margaret. So sorry. Rosa was on her knees, trying to mop up the coffee with the napkins. She looked genuinely distressed. But then I noticed something odd. Her eyes. They weren't showing the panic you'd expect from someone who had just made a terrible accident. There was something else there. Determination? Relief?
Rosa, these papers, the carpet, my suit. I was furious. I had never been angry with Rosa before, not in 12 years, but this was too much. I have the most important meeting of my life in less than an hour.
I know, Señora, I know. I am so sorry. Rosa was gathering the soaked papers. Please, you go change. I clean this. I call professional cleaning for carpet. Please, Señora. I looked at the clock. 9:10 a.m. I had to leave by 9:30 to make it to the meeting on time.
I don't have time for this. I ran upstairs to change. I had a backup suit, a charcoal gray one, not as powerful as the navy, but it would have to do. I changed in record time.
When I came back downstairs, Rosa had cleaned up most of the mess. She had put all the wet papers in a plastic bag. Señora, I am so sorry. Please forgive me.
We'll talk about this later, Rosa. I have to go. I grabbed my purse and briefcase and headed to the garage. I was flustered, annoyed, and now running 15 minutes behind schedule. Traffic was worse than expected. I kept checking my watch. 9:45, 9:55. The meeting was at 10 a.m. sharp. I called Robert Chen, my lawyer. I'm going to be about 10 minutes late. Please tell them I apologize and I'm on my way. Margaret, is everything okay? Robert sounded concerned. Yes, just a mishap at home. I'll be there soon. I finally arrived at the Pacific Design Group building at 10:12 a.m. I parked quickly and rushed inside. The receptionist looked surprised to see me. Mrs. Hartwell? The meeting... I know, I'm late. Which conference room? No, Mrs. Hartwell, you don't understand. The meeting has been canceled. What? Canceled? What are you talking about? Perhaps you should speak with Mr. Peterson. She picked up her phone. A few minutes later, James Peterson, the CEO of Pacific Design Group, came down to the lobby. His face was grim. Margaret, thank God you're all right. All right. Of course I'm all right. What's going on, James? Why was the meeting canceled? Let's go to my office. In his office, James told me something that made my blood run cold. Margaret, we received a call this morning at 8:30 a.m. from a woman who identified herself as your daughter-in-law, Jennifer Hartwell. My heart started pounding. She told us that you had collapsed at home, that you were being taken to the hospital by ambulance. She said she was calling to inform us that the meeting would need to be rescheduled. But I saw Jennifer at 8 a.m. I was fine. She brought me coffee. James frowned. She called at 8:30, claiming you had collapsed. We tried calling your cell phone multiple times, but there was no answer. I checked my phone. It was dead. I had forgotten to charge it the night before, with all my anxiety about the meeting. James, this doesn't make sense. I was at home until 9:30. I never collapsed. Jennifer left my house at 8:15. Margaret, there's more. James looked very uncomfortable. After we got that call, our board members started receiving anonymous emails. The emails contained allegations about your company's finances, about hidden debts, about fraudulent accounting practices. That's insane! My books are completely clean. Robert can show you everything. We know. Robert has been here since 9 a.m., and he's been showing our legal team all your documentation.
Everything checks out perfectly, but the emails were designed to look like whistleblower complaints. They were very detailed, very professional. Someone was trying to sabotage the merger. It appears so. And Margaret, James hesitated. The emails were sent from an IP address that, when traced, originated from your home network. I drove home in a daze. Someone had tried to sabotage the merger. Someone had impersonated me, or at least my condition. Someone had used my own home network to send fraudulent emails. Jennifer. It had to be Jennifer. But why? David and Jennifer would benefit tremendously from the merger. Unless Jennifer thought she would benefit more from something else. When I arrived home, Rosa met me at the door. She looked terrified. Señora Margaret, you are okay. Thank God. Rosa, we need to talk. Right now. We sat in the kitchen. Rosa's hands were shaking. Rosa, you spilled that coffee on purpose, didn't you? Rosa started crying. Señora, I am so sorry. I know you are angry, but I had to. I had to stop you from drinking it. Stop me? Why? Señora, I heard things. I see things. Your daughter-in-law, she struggled with her English, becoming more emotional. 3 days ago, I cleaning upstairs. I hear Jennifer on phone in guest room. She not know I am there. She talking to someone, a man. She say, Tuesday morning. The coffee. Make sure it's enough to make her very sick, but not obviously poison. She needs to miss the meeting. Once the merger falls through, we move forward with Plan B. I felt like I couldn't breathe. Rosa, are you telling me that Jennifer was planning to poison me? Si, señora. I think so. I'm not sure at first. Maybe I misunderstand. My English not so good. But then this morning, she come with special coffee, and she asked me many questions last week about your meeting time, about when you leave house, about if you drink coffee at home or later. Why didn't you tell me 3 days ago? Señora, I am scared. If I wrong, you think I am crazy. You maybe fire me. Jennifer, she already not like me. She tell you I am lying, trying to cause trouble. And if I am right and I tell you, maybe Jennifer know I hear her, maybe something bad happened to me, to my children in Mexico. Rosa was sobbing now, so I decide I just make sure you not drink the coffee. I think if I spill it, accident, then you not drink it. You are safe. But you will be angry with me, not know Jennifer is dangerous, and I can watch over you better. I can protect you. I reached across the table and took Rosa's hands. Rosa, you saved my life, but your meeting, your papers, your suit, all ruined. Rosa, do you understand what would have happened if I had drunk that coffee? I would have gotten sick. Maybe I would have crashed my car on the way to the meeting. Maybe I would have had to go to the hospital. The meeting would have been canceled or postponed, exactly like Jennifer planned, and the merger would have fallen apart. But Señora, the meeting was canceled anyway. Jennifer, she called them. She lied. Yes, but I'm alive and healthy, and I can fix the merger problem. If I had been poisoned, even if it wasn't fatal, I would have been in no condition to deal with any of this. Rosa, you saved my life and my company. We both cried together for a while. Then I called Robert Chen, my lawyer. Robert, I need you to come to my house immediately and bring a private investigator, the best one you know. Money is no object. Robert arrived within the hour, bringing with him a private investigator named Sarah Martinez, no relation to Rosa, who specialized in corporate espionage and fraud. I told them everything: the coffee, Rosa's story about overhearing Jennifer, the sabotaged meeting, the anonymous emails. Sarah listened carefully, taking notes. Mrs. Hartwell, before we go any further, I need to ask you some questions. First, do you have security cameras in your home? Yes, exterior ones. Front door, back door, garage. Do they record? Yes, everything is saved to a cloud service.
Good. Second question. Does anyone besides you and Rosa have access to your home Wi-Fi network?
Family members. David and Jennifer have the password. They visit frequently. When was Jennifer last in your home before this morning? I thought about it. She was here Saturday evening. We had dinner. David was with her. And before that? She stopped by alone on Thursday afternoon. She said she wanted to borrow a book. Sarah made more notes. I'd like to examine your home computer and network. I'd also like to access your security camera footage. And we need to preserve that coffee that was spilled. All of it, including whatever soaked into the carpet.
Why the carpet? If there was something in that coffee, we can test it. The carpet fibers will have absorbed it. It's evidence.
Over the next few hours, Sarah worked methodically. She examined my computer, checked my router logs, reviewed security camera footage. Around 6 p.m., she called us all together, me, Robert, and Rosa. Mrs. Hartwell, I have preliminary findings. First, the security cameras show Jennifer arriving this morning at 8:03 a.m. She left at 8:17 a.m. But here's what's interesting. Sarah pulled up footage on her laptop. Look at Thursday afternoon when Jennifer visited. The footage showed Jennifer arriving at 2:15 p.m. on Thursday. She went inside. I had been home that day, I remembered. But then Sarah showed me footage from 3:45 p.m. Look at this. Jennifer is leaving. But look at what she's carrying. In the video, Jennifer was leaving with her purse, but she was also carrying something small in her hand, trying to conceal it against her body. I can't quite make out what it is, I said. I've enhanced it. It appears to be a small router, specifically a portable Wi-Fi device. I don't understand. Why would she take a router? She didn't take your router. She brought one with her and left it somewhere in your house, a hidden device that would allow her to access your network remotely. It's how she sent those emails this morning. They appeared to come from your IP address because technically they did come from a device connected to your network, but she sent them from somewhere else. Can you find this device? Already have. Sarah held up a small black device, about the size of a phone charger. It was hidden behind your bookshelf in the living room, plugged into an outlet. Very clever placement. Close to your router for good signal, but somewhere you'd never notice it. Robert was furious. This is criminal. Corporate sabotage, fraud, attempted poisoning? We don't have proof of poisoning yet, Sarah cautioned. We need to test that carpet. I've already collected samples and sent them to a lab I work with. We'll have results in 24 to 48 hours. What about Jennifer's phone call to Pacific Design Group? I asked. Can we prove she made that? I have a contact at the phone company. With a warrant, we could subpoena records, but that will take time, and we'd need to involve police. I want to know everything first, I said. I want to know exactly what Jennifer was planning and who she was working with before we make any moves. Sarah nodded. I understand. Let me keep investigating. Don't let Jennifer know that you suspect anything. Act normal. Can you do that? Could I act normal around the woman who had tried to poison me? Around my own daughter-in-law? I'll try, I said. That evening, David called. Mom, I heard the meeting got canceled. Jennifer told me you weren't feeling well. Are you okay? My heart broke. David had no idea what his wife was doing. I'm fine, honey. Just a miscommunication. We're rescheduling the meeting for next week. Jennifer said she brought you coffee this morning. That was sweet of her, wasn't it? Very sweet, I managed to say. After hanging up, I realized something. Jennifer must be panicking. Her plan had failed. I wasn't sick. The meeting had been canceled due to her false report and the emails, but I was healthy and capable of rescheduling. What would she do next? Sarah's prediction about Jennifer's panic turned out to be correct.
Why would you feel responsible, dear? I kept my voice neutral. Well, I was the one who called them when I thought you weren't feeling well. I must have misunderstood something you said when I was there.
Can I make it up to you? Let me take you to dinner tonight. Just us girls. We never spend enough time together, just the two of us. Every instinct told me this was dangerous, but I needed to know what Jennifer's next move would be. That sounds lovely, Jennifer. Where would you like to go? How about Marcello's, your favorite Italian place? I'll make a reservation for 7 p.m. After hanging up, I immediately called Sarah. She wants to take you to dinner, Sarah said thoughtfully. Alone. Yes, it's possible she wants to try again. Poisoning in a restaurant would be risky, but not impossible. Or she might just want to assess how much you know. I'm going. Not without protection, you're not. I'll be there. I'll sit at a different table, but I'll be watching everything. And Mrs. Hartwell, don't eat or drink anything she gives you directly. Order your own food, watch it being prepared if possible, and don't leave your plate unattended. That evening, I dressed carefully and drove to Marcello's. Sarah was already there, seated at a corner table with a book, looking like a woman dining alone. Jennifer arrived right on time, looking beautiful in a designer dress. She hugged me warmly. "Mom, you look wonderful. I'm so glad we're doing this." We were seated. Jennifer immediately ordered a bottle of wine. "Their Chianti is excellent," she said. When the wine arrived, Jennifer poured us each a glass. I picked up my glass, but didn't drink from it. We ordered food. Jennifer was charming, asking about the business, about my plans for retirement, about whether I was feeling well. "You know, Mom, you really had me worried yesterday morning. You seemed a bit off when I was there." "Did I? I don't recall."
Yes, you seemed distracted, maybe a bit unwell. That's why I called the Pacific Design people. I was genuinely concerned. She was lying smoothly, testing to see if I believed her.
"Well, I appreciate your concern, but I was perfectly fine." Jennifer sipped her wine. "Mom, can I ask you something? Have you ever thought about what happens to the company if something happens to you? I mean, you're not getting any younger, and this merger—" "The merger will happen next week. Everything is back on track. But what if it doesn't? What if there are more complications? Have you considered other options?" "What kind of options?" Jennifer leaned forward. "Well, David and I have been talking. We have some business contacts who might be interested in acquiring Hartwell Designs. Maybe not for as much as Pacific Design Group is offering, but it would be a sure thing. No complications, no stress for you. Who are these contacts?" "Just some people we know. Investors. They're very interested. In fact," Jennifer pulled out a folder from her purse. "I took the liberty of having them draw up a preliminary offer. Just look at it, Mom. No pressure." I opened the folder. The offer was for $15 million, less than half of what Pacific Design Group was paying. "Jennifer, why would I accept a fraction of what my company is worth?" "Because it's certain, Mom, and because, well, things can happen. Businesses fail. Deals fall through. Wouldn't you rather have something guaranteed? Think about David's future." "Your grandchildren's future. I don't have grandchildren yet." "Not yet, but maybe soon," Jennifer smiled. "We've been trying, you know. Wouldn't you want to know that your grandchildren would be secure?" She was manipulating me, using the promise of grandchildren. "I'll think about it," I said, closing the folder. Our food arrived. I had ordered a simple pasta dish. Jennifer had the seafood special. As we ate, Jennifer kept pushing. "Mom, these investors need an answer soon. They won't wait forever. In fact, they need to know by Friday. That's only 2 days away." 2 days? That's not enough time for my lawyers to review an offer. There's not much to review. It's straightforward. And Mom, between you and me, I've heard things about Pacific Design Group, about their financial stability. "Are you sure they're going to be able to complete this merger? What have you heard?"
Just rumors, but concerning ones. I'd hate for you to put all your eggs in one basket and then have it fall through. I realized what she was doing.
Jennifer was trying to manipulate me into accepting this lowball offer from her mysterious investors. Investors who probably didn't exist, or who were working with her in some scheme. If I had been poisoned yesterday, if I had been hospitalized or incapacitated, Jennifer might have been able to act on my behalf through David. She could have claimed I was incompetent due to illness, gotten David to agree to this quick sale, and stolen millions from me. We finished dinner. Jennifer picked up the check, insisting. As we left the restaurant, she hugged me again. Think about the offer. Mom, I really think it's best for everyone. Call me tomorrow? I will, dear. I watched her drive away, then waited for Sarah to come out. Did you get all that? I asked. Sarah held up her phone. Every word. I was recording the whole time. Thursday morning, Sarah called me. The lab results are back on the carpet samples. And? You're going to want to sit down for this. The coffee contained ipecac syrup and a substantial dose of diazepam. In English, please. Ipecac causes severe vomiting. Diazepam is a sedative, commonly known as Valium. In combination and in the doses that were in that coffee, you would have become violently ill very quickly, probably within 30 minutes of drinking it. The diazepam would have made you drowsy and confused. If you had been driving when this hit, you could have crashed. Even if you had been at home, you would have been in no condition to attend any meeting. You would have needed medical attention. Would it have killed me? Probably not, unless you had an adverse reaction or were taking other medications that interacted badly. But it would have made you very, very sick. Sick enough to be hospitalized. Sick enough to be incapacitated for days. Can you trace where these drugs came from? Ipecac can be purchased over the counter or online. It's used to induce vomiting in poisoning cases, ironically.
Diazepam requires a prescription, but it's not difficult to obtain through various means. I have some contacts looking into pharmacies in the area, but it's a long shot. What do we do now?
We have enough evidence to go to the police. Attempted poisoning, fraud, corporate espionage. Jennifer would be arrested. And what about finding out who she's working with? These investors she mentioned. Sarah hesitated. If we arrest her now, we might not find out the full scope of the conspiracy. But if we wait, she might try something else, something worse. I thought about David, about how this would destroy him, about how I needed to be absolutely certain before I tore my family apart. I want to know everything, I said. Give me until tomorrow, one more day to find out who she's working with and what the full plan is. Mrs. Hartwell, that's risky. I'll have Rosa with me at all times. I won't eat or drink anything I haven't prepared myself. One more day, Sarah. All right, but I'm putting someone on surveillance outside your house. If Jennifer shows up, I want to know immediately. That afternoon, I did something I had been dreading. I called David and asked him to come over for dinner, without Jennifer. Mom, is everything okay? You sound serious. I just need to talk to you, son. Just us. Please. David arrived at 6 p.m. Rosa had prepared his favorite meal, pot roast with all the trimmings. We ate in the kitchen, like we used to when he was a boy. David, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be completely honest with me. Of course, Mom. What is it? How are things with Jennifer? In your marriage? David looked surprised. They're fine. Good, actually. Why? No problems? Nothing unusual? Mom, where is this coming from? I decided to probe gently. David, has Jennifer mentioned anything to you about me selling the company? About investors who are interested? Oh, that. She mentioned something about some people she knows who might want to buy Hartwell Designs. She said it might be less stressful for you than the merger, but it's totally your decision, Mom. Who are these people? I don't know exactly.
business associates of Jennifer's, I think. Why? David, what do you know about Jennifer's work, her career before you married?
She worked in marketing for a pharmaceutical company. She quit after we got married because we were planning to start a family. She does some consulting work from home now.
What kind of consulting? I don't know the details. Corporate strategy, I think. Mom, what's going on? I looked at my son. He was so trusting, so naive. How could I tell him that his wife had tried to poison me?
David, I need you to do something for me. I need you to look at your joint finances. Check your credit cards, your bank accounts. See if there's anything unusual.
Mom, you're scaring me. Please, just do it. Don't tell Jennifer I asked. Just look and tell me if you see anything strange. David pulled out his phone. I can check online right now.
He logged into their bank account. As he scrolled through the transactions, his expression changed. That's weird. What?
There are several large payments to a company called Vertex Investments. $50,000. 3 different payments over the last 2 months. That's $150,000.
Did you authorize those payments? No. I've never heard of Vertex Investments. Jennifer handles most of our finances since I'm busy with work. But this much money? She would have told me. What else do you see?
David scrolled more. Credit card charges, hotels, expensive restaurants. But I wasn't with her for these. She told me she was visiting her sister last month, and the month before she said she was at a spa retreat. But these charges, they're from different cities. And look at this, charges at 2 different places at the same time. One in Portland, one in Seattle. That's not possible unless
There are 2 cards. I only have 1 card. Jennifer has 1, but she couldn't have been in 2 cities at once. David's face went pale. Mom, what's going on? I think Jennifer has been lying to you, son, about a lot of things.
David stayed at my house that night. We talked for hours. I told him everything: the coffee, the poisoning attempt, the sabotaged meeting, the surveillance, the lowball offer from mysterious investors. At first, he didn't want to believe it. Mom, maybe there's an explanation. Maybe you're misunderstanding.
But as we went through all the evidence, as he looked at the bank records and credit card statements, as he realized how much Jennifer had been hiding from him, the truth became undeniable.
I've been such a fool, he said, his head in his hands.
No, son, you trusted your wife. That's not foolish. That's human. What do I do now?
we find out exactly what Jennifer's plan is, and then we stop her. Friday morning, Sarah called with a breakthrough.
I found Vertex Investments. It's a shell corporation registered in Delaware, and guess who's listed as the CEO?
Who? A man named Marcus Brennan. Does that name mean anything to you? No.
He's Jennifer's ex-boyfriend. They date.
For 3 years before she met David. Marcus works in corporate acquisitions. Specifically, he specializes in buying undervalued companies, stripping their assets, and reselling them for profit.
Everything clicked into place.
Jennifer was planning to get me sick enough that David could claim incompetence and take control of the company. Then she would manipulate David into accepting this lowball offer from investors, who are actually Marcus. They would buy Hartwell Designs for $15 million, asset strip it, and resell everything for probably $40 or $50 million. She and Marcus would split the profit.
Exactly. And I found something else. Jennifer and Marcus have been in contact constantly. Phone records show hundreds of calls between them over the past 6 months. Hotel records show them staying at the same hotels on the same nights. Mrs. Hartwell, Jennifer has been having an affair with Marcus this entire time.
David, who was listening, looked like he might be sick.
There's more, Sarah continued. Those payments to Vertex Investments that David found, they were supposedly for consulting services. But I think Jennifer was paying Marcus to set up the shell corporation and the acquisition plan.
She was using David's money to fund the scheme to steal your company.
What do we do? I asked.
We have enough evidence to go to the police right now. Attempted poisoning, fraud, theft, corporate espionage. Jennifer and Marcus would both be arrested.
And you were going to sell it for $40 million and leave most of it to David and me anyway. I just decided to speed up the process. With Marcus's help, we would have gotten the company for $15 million, restructured it, and sold it for $50 or $60 million. We would have made twice what the merger would have given us.
But you needed me out of the way first, I said. That's why you tried to poison me.
Jennifer actually laughed. Poison? That's dramatic. I just wanted you sick enough to miss the meeting. Sick enough that David would worry and agree to sell the company quickly to avoid more stress on you. I was trying to help, really.
Help? You tried to kill me.
Don't be ridiculous. It was just ipecac and some Valium. You would have been fine in a few days. What about sabotaging the merger? The false phone call? The fraudulent emails?
Plan B. When Rosa, she spat the name like a curse, decided to interfere and spill your coffee, I had to improvise. If the merger fell through, you would have been desperate to sell. You would have jumped at any reasonable offer. $15 million isn't reasonable for a company worth $40 million. It would have been enough, and you never would have known the truth. Marcus and I would have been rich, and you would have had your comfortable retirement. What about David? I asked. What were you planning to do with him? Jennifer looked at David with contempt. Divorce him, obviously. Once everything was settled, he would have gotten something in the settlement, enough to be comfortable. No harm done, really.
David stood up, trembling with rage. No harm done? You stole from me. You cheated on me. You tried to poison my mother.
Oh, grow up, David. This is business. Your mother understands that, even if you don't.
Actually, Jennifer, I don't understand, I said. I don't understand how someone could be so callous, so cruel, so willing to hurt the people who loved her.
Love? Jennifer laughed again. Love is for children. Money is what matters. Power is what matters. And I was this close to having both. That's when the police walked in. Sarah had called them 20 minutes earlier. They had been listening to the entire conversation from outside. Jennifer Hartwell, you're under arrest for attempted poisoning, fraud, corporate espionage, and theft. You have the right to remain silent.
Jennifer's face went white. You recorded this? You can't do that. That's entrapment.
Actually, Robert Chen said, stepping into the room, in this state, one-party consent is all that's needed for recording. Mrs. Hartwell consented. Everything you just said is admissible in court.
This is your fault. You and your pathetic mother. I'll get out of this. Marcus will help me. You'll see.
But Marcus Brennan was also being arrested at that very moment at his apartment downtown. Sarah's team had coordinated with the police to take them both simultaneously. After Jennifer was gone, David collapsed into a chair. Rosa brought him water. I sat next to my son and held his hand. "I'm sorry," he said. "I brought her into our family. This is my fault." No, David. Jennifer fooled a lot of people. She was very good at being who she needed to be. I should have seen it. The signs were there. Sometimes we don't want to see things. That doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. Over the following weeks, more details emerged. Marcus Brennan had been involved in several similar schemes before. He would find wealthy, older business owners with children or relatives, then seduce those relatives and manipulate them into helping steal the businesses. Jennifer had been his partner in at least 2 previous cons. Jennifer and Marcus had met in Las Vegas 3 years before she met David. They had planned the entire thing. Jennifer would find a wealthy family, marry into it, and they would eventually steal whatever assets they could. David had just been unlucky enough to be the target. The prosecution built a strong case.
The recorded confession, combined with the physical evidence of the poisoned coffee, the financial records, the fake documents, and the testimony from Rosa and others, made conviction almost certain.
Jennifer's lawyer tried to negotiate a plea deal, but the district attorney refused. This case had gotten media attention, and they wanted to make an example of her.
The trial took place 4 months later. Jennifer tried to look sympathetic, wearing conservative clothes and crying on the witness stand. She claimed she had been manipulated by Marcus, that she had never meant to hurt anyone, that she was just confused and made bad decisions.
But the recording of her confession destroyed any sympathy she might have earned.
The jury deliberated for less than 3 hours. Guilty on all counts.
Jennifer was sentenced to 15 years in prison. Marcus got 20 years, as he had a prior record. The merger with Pacific Design Group went through successfully. I received my $40 million, minus the legal fees, which were substantial, but worth it. I gave Rosa $1 million as a thank you. She cried for hours.
Señora, this is too much. I just did what was right. Rosa, you saved my life. $1 million is nothing compared to what you gave me.
Rosa used the money to bring her children to America. They both went to college. Rosa herself reduced her hours. She still works for me, but only because she wants to, not because she needs to. She's family now, officially. I put her in my will as a beneficiary, equal to David. David struggled for a long time. The betrayal had cut deep. He went to therapy, which helped. He threw himself into his architecture work and eventually started dating again, though he's much more cautious now.
Mom, how do you trust anyone after something like this? He asked me once.
You don't stop trusting David. You just get better at seeing who deserves trust. And you remember that most people are good. Jennifer was an aberration. Don't let her steal your faith in humanity.
I retired from Hartwell Designs, though I kept a seat on the board. I had enough money to do whatever I wanted, so I started a foundation, the Hartwell Martinez Foundation for Women in Business. We give grants to women starting their own companies, especially immigrant women like Rosa. I also started teaching business classes at the local community college. I wanted to share what I had learned over 30 years. And I wanted young people to understand that success isn't just about money. It's about integrity, about treating people right, about being able to sleep at night knowing you did the right thing.
Sometimes I think about that morning, about Rosa stumbling accidentally and spilling the coffee, about how a simple act of courage from a woman who had every reason to stay quiet saved my life and my company.
Rosa downplays what she did. I just spilled coffee, señora. It's not so big. But it was big. It was everything.
I think about the signs I missed with Jennifer, the little comments, the questions that seemed innocent but were really intelligence gathering, the way she tried to create distance between Rosa and me, the way she manipulated David.
I'm not angry anymore. Anger takes too much energy, and at my age, I'd rather spend my energy on positive things. But I am wiser. I understand now that sometimes the people who seem perfect are too good to be true. I understand that you have to trust your instincts. I understand that loyalty and integrity matter more than charm and good looks. Most importantly, I understand that sometimes the people who save you aren't the ones you expect. They're not the family members, or the business partners, or the people who seem impressive. Sometimes they're the quiet ones, the ones who don't ask for anything, the ones who just show up every day and do their job with dignity and care. Rosa saved my life by spilling coffee. Such a simple act, such profound consequences. 3 years have passed since that terrible Tuesday morning. I'm 71 now. Still healthy, still active, still teaching my classes at the community college. David is doing well. He's engaged to a lovely woman named Sarah. Yes, same name as the investigator who helped us. They met at an art gallery. Sarah is a teacher, kind and genuine. They're planning a small wedding this fall.
David asked me if I was worried about him getting married again after what happened with Jennifer.
Not even a little bit, I told him. This Sarah is real. I can tell.
And I could. Some things you just know. Rosa and I still have coffee together every morning. Real coffee, prepared by Rosa or me, no one else. We sit in the kitchen and talk about everything. Her children, my foundation, David's wedding plans, the students in my classes.
Sometimes Rosa apologizes again for ruining my suit and my papers that morning.
And every time I tell her the same thing. Rosa, you didn't ruin anything. You saved everything. Jennifer writes to David from prison sometimes. Letters asking for forgiveness, claiming she's changed, saying she made mistakes. David hasn't responded. His therapist says he should do what feels right for him, and right now, not responding feels right. I don't wish Jennifer ill. I hope she does change. I hope she finds some peace. But I also hope she understands the damage she caused and the lives she tried to destroy. Marcus hasn't written anyone. Last I heard, he was in a federal prison in Arizona, still serving his 20-year sentence.
Sometimes people ask me if I regret anything, if I wish I had seen Jennifer's true nature earlier, if I'm angry at myself for being fooled.
The answer is no. Yes, Jennifer fooled me, but David had 4 years with someone he loved before he learned the truth. Those were happy years for him, even if they were built on lies. And more importantly, the experience taught me something valuable. It taught me that quiet kindness is worth more than loud charm. It taught me that loyalty can't be bought. It taught me that sometimes the people we take for granted are the ones who will save us. Rosa had every reason to stay quiet that morning. She was an immigrant, worried about her job, worried about her children, worried that no one would believe her. But she chose courage over fear. She chose to protect me, even at risk to herself. That's the story I share with my students at the community college. Not the story of how I built a multi-million-dollar company. They can read about that in business books. But the story of Rosa and the coffee and the choice between silence and courage. In life, I tell them, you will face moments where you have to decide between what's easy and what's right. Choose right. Every time. Even when it's scary. Even when you might lose everything. Because that's how you become someone who can look at themselves in the mirror. Some of my students have shared their own stories with me. Stories of times they spoke up when it was dangerous. Stories of times they didn't and regretted it. Stories of finding courage they didn't know they had. We all have those moments. We all face those choices. I chose to trust Rosa even when Jennifer tried to make me suspicious. Rosa chose to save me even when it would have been safer to stay silent. Those choices made all the difference.
So, that's my story. The story of how my daughter-in-law tried to poison me, how my maid saved my life by spilling coffee, and how everything worked out in the end. But really, it's a story about seeing value in people who others overlook. It's about trusting your instincts. It's about knowing that perfection is often a mask, and that real goodness is usually quiet and unassuming. If I could give you one piece of advice, it would be this. Pay attention to the Rosas in your life, the people who show up consistently, the people who don't ask for recognition, the people who do the right thing even when no one's watching. Those are the people who will save you when you need it most. And if you're someone who has information about wrongdoing, if you're in Rosa's position right now, wondering whether to speak up or stay silent, speak up, even if you're scared, even if you might lose something, even if no one might believe you. Because somewhere, someone's life might depend on your courage. I look at Rosa sometimes, sitting across from me at my kitchen table, drinking coffee and laughing at something her daughter said, and I think about how close I came to losing everything. But I didn't lose everything. I gained something more valuable than any business deal or any amount of money. I gained a deeper understanding of what really matters. Family, yes,
But family is defined by loyalty and love, not just blood. Rosa is more family to me than Jennifer ever was.
I gained wisdom about trusting the right people. And I gained a profound appreciation for the simple act of courage, for choosing to spill a cup of coffee instead of staying silent, for choosing someone else's safety over your own. That's what saved my life, not security systems or lawyers or contracts. Simple human courage. Simple human kindness. And that's worth more than $40 million could ever buy. Well, dear friends, we've reached the end of Margaret's incredible story. But before you go, I have something important to ask you. Did this story touch your heart? Did Margaret's journey teach you something valuable about trust, courage, and the importance of recognizing the good people in our lives? If this story resonated with you, if it made you think, made you feel something, or if you simply enjoyed spending these few hours with us, I would be so grateful if you could hit that like button right now. Your like tells me that you appreciate these stories, and it helps other people discover them too. You know, every like, every share, it's like Rosa's act of courage. It's a small action that makes a big difference. Your support helps this channel grow and allows me to bring you more incredible stories of real people, real struggles, and real triumphs. And if you're new here, welcome to American Granny Stories. This is a place where we share life's most powerful lessons through the experiences of people who've lived them. Stories about family, betrayal, justice, love, and redemption. Stories that remind us what really matters in life. We have so many more amazing stories to share with you. Stories about mothers-in-law who discovered shocking family secrets, grandmothers who fought back against those who underestimated them, women who rebuilt their lives after devastating betrayals, families who found unexpected heroes in the most unlikely places. If you want to hear more stories like Margaret's, please subscribe to American Granny Stories and click that notification bell. That way, you'll never miss a new story. Every story we share is filled with emotion, drama, and life lessons that stay with you long after the story ends.
And here's something special. We love hearing from you. In the comments below, tell us.
What did you think of Rosa's courage? Would you have done the same thing?
Have you ever had someone unexpected save you from a difficult situation? What would you have done if you were in Margaret's position?
Do you think Jennifer's 15-year sentence was fair, or should it have been longer?
Your comments create a community. They start conversations. They connect us all through these shared human experiences. So please, take a moment to share your thoughts below. I read every single comment, and I love hearing your perspectives and your own stories. Also, if you know someone who would enjoy this story, maybe someone who's going through family difficulties, someone who needs to hear about courage and justice, or someone who just loves a good dramatic story, please share this video with them. Send them the link. Post it on your Facebook, your Twitter, your WhatsApp groups. Stories like Margaret's remind us that good people exist, that justice can prevail, and that sometimes the heroes in our lives are the quiet ones we take for granted. That's a message worth spreading. Before I let you go, let me leave you with Margaret's most important lesson. Pay attention to the Rosas in your life. The loyal ones, the quiet ones, the ones who show up every day with integrity and kindness. Because when you need saving, they're the ones who will risk everything for you. And if you can be a Rosa for someone else, if you can be the person who speaks up, who acts with courage, who chooses what's right over what's easy, then you're making the world a better place, one small act of bravery at a time. Thank you so much for spending these hours with us today. Thank you for being part of the American Granny Stories family. Your support means everything. Don't forget, like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and comment your thoughts below. And remember, life is full of stories, some happy, some sad, some shocking, some inspiring. But every story teaches us something, if we're willing to listen.
Until next time, dear friends, take care of yourselves, appreciate the good people in your lives, and never underestimate the power of simple courage. This is American Granny Stories, reminding you that the best stories are the ones that change how we see the world.
See you in the next story.